The Bible is for me.
You like that I got dressed up?
Yeah.
I went cowboy buttons two pods in a row.
Those are called cowboy buttons?
Yeah, the ones that little snaps. At least
like
that's what I
those.
call them. Little snap, little pearls.
Yeah, those are cool.
Yeah, this is an old shirt.
Really?
Yeah, it's like 20 something years old. I mean, since I've had it.
You've had that shirt for 20 plus years.
Yeah, 23 years at least.
That speaks to how delicate you are with your laundry, I think.
I think it's if you care for something, you keep it around.
Is it? I feel like it would hurt you to say goodbye to a shirt. Like
Yeah.
if they got a hole and you couldn't sew it or whatever.
Yeah, the only thing I've done, I've like at one point my nephew, because I had a bunch of cool like thrift store finds back in the day, and I gave a bunch of them to my nephews as they were kind
that's
of
a
coming
cool
of
idea.
age for
Yeah.
these cool things, and I'm sure they just threw them away because they're I don't know what they're into. It's not the same thing that was
Right.
cool
Right.
25 years before their time. Yeah, I don't know if they, but Mal, I don't know if they liked them, but Mal was like not having it. She did not like the idea of me getting rid of my shirts. These are shirts that she has liked me wear, like to
Right.
see me wear.
Yeah.
And like knows me wearing them in my 20s.
I don't know if there is a wider gap between you and me, but I lose my stuff. Straight up. Rachel will be like, where did that shirt go? And I'm like, that's a great question. I got no idea.
No, I cherish mine.
You take good care of your stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to the podcast. I'll get to know you time is over.
It's as if we didn't know when we hit record.
I know. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. I just hit. That's right. Welcome to a very special episode of the Bible is Funny podcast. This is our church story segment. We have a little special something today.
Do
because-
tell.
The theme for today's church stories is baby dedications. And this looks different in different contexts. I come from the kind of like larger church evangelical. We call them baby dedications. There's different like christenings and different things. I'm not going to pretend to know the ins and the outs of the differences, but the question posed to the audience was, what stories do you have from those incidents?
Gotcha.
Those moments, those happenings.
Okay.
And so that's what we have today.
You told me ahead of time we were going to be talking about, I thought it was like Mother's Day themed kind of stuff.
Right.
And it got me thinking about parenting stuff. And there was a thing that came up personally in life the other day with my kid.
Oh, yeah.
Where like, and this is not the only time this happened, but we're like in this sort of argument, like she's yelling at me for something. This is my oldest, and she's yelling at me about whatever. Like she's fiery, she's got an attitude, as you know. It's a great attitude, but like fiery very, very often, and also compassionate and sweet other times. But she's like yelling at me, and then I like kind of respond back, and then she said something back that's, ironic in that situation, and then I laugh, and she's like, "That's not funny." And I'm like, well, actually, objectively, it is. If there's anything I actually hold a degree in, if there's anything I'm like close to holding some sort of higher level degree in, it's in comedy. It's funny. You actually can't tell me what's not funny. It's like saying to Neil Tyson deGrasse, that's not spacey. I'm not on his level.
Excuse me? That's
Right.
what he would say.
Yeah.
I'm totally with you with that. And because my specialty categories are so much smaller than my wife's in our house.
Right.
So many things you're going to probably want to run it by her. This is like one of the few areas I'd be like,
This is my point.
Probably know this one.
Yep. It's my only point.
Because
I have very few areas of expertise, and this is one of them.
This is interesting you bring this up too, because I had a thing with my youngest the other day where he, God bless him, gets really funny when he's mad. And he does not like it. And I don't know how to tell him, like, but you are being really funny. Like, and I know you're not trying to be funny. But he'll do like impressions of it. He'll be like, I'm trying to play and you're over here like, can you do basketball? And he's doing an impression. I'm like, gosh, that's pretty funny.
I mean, Lewis Black made a whole career on this.
Kind of laughing, and he's like, it's not funny. And I'm like, it is funny though. It's a good bit. But I get you're not being funny.
Oh yeah, no.
But it is funny.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, in America's Funniest Home Videos, a guy gets hit in the groin by, you know, his kid hitting off the tee.
Yeah.
He's not being funny.
No.
It is funny.
It is funny.
Yeah.
Objectively funny.
Yep. Today, the reason for these comings together is because in my tradition growing up, a lot of times you did this sort of baby dedication, parent dedication, whatever it is, on Mother's Day.
Parent dedication?
Yeah, they started calling them parent
You
dedications.
dedicate the parents?
Yeah, because I don't know. But
is that real? Would they call them parents?
yeah,
Oh, this is dumb.
yeah, they just, I don't know. But people call it different things. It's essentially the same thing. If you have no context what I'm talking about, I guess I'll give you a brief summary. What will happen is a family in the church will have
A man and a woman.
had a baby recently.
Just
Sometimes they do them for like adoptive families too. Like there's all kinds of things. And you'll go in front of your church family with your family and just sort of pray over the family. And I'm not here to tell you more than that. You can get in the ins and the outs with other people. But I think we could all agree it's a nice thing. You welcome a child into the family. You go in front of the church. Hey, this is our kid. And we're so happy. And you pray over him. And you say good things for these people. God love them. Amen. And that's kind of the end of it.
yeah, at the very least, it's nice to introduce your kid to your church.
I think really it has to do with pickup from childcare.
Right.
You
So
gotta
they
go
know-
in front of the church.
Oh,
And go,
you do
this
have-
one's mine, and everybody goes like, oh, okay, visually now when they go to pick that one up, I know that one belongs to them. But things happen. Churches are funny. Is the whole name of the segment because stuff happens during these beautiful ceremonies. You have people fly in sometimes, depending on how big you make this moment for your family. People will fly in for it. Sometimes you get a little certificate or something. It's like it's a moment. It's a thing. And some churches do them on Mother's Day. This is what brings us to today. Churches are funny. Church funny stuff. Baby dedication stories.
Let's do it.
First one comes from Sister Julie. It's a little warm-up one.
Okay.
Due to COVID, my son was 18 months before we were able to get him baptized. To distract him during the liturgy, we handed him a small plastic Elmo toy. He decided it was really fun to throw Elmo into the baptismal font, and Elmo was immersed several times that morning in front of the whole church,
Hey, finally.
which I think is fun.
Yeah, Elmo finally got dedicated.
Yeah, I think what I think was happening was your child really understood the gravity of the situation.
Right.
It was like, I love Elmo. And I think Elmo needs to make this decision today
Yeah.
too. I looked this up because I wasn't sure, you guys are so great to type these out and send them in. A baptismal font is the name of that kind of, for lack of a better visual image, that kind of bird bath looking thing at the front.
Yeah.
That's what I was.
Gotcha.
Because I was like,
know it was the fountain.
fount
Maybe
was
they
my
spelled
thing, and
fountain
then I
wrong.
Googled it, and I was like, no, that's the real name for that thing.
That's what we had for our kids when they did the dedication. They did a little sprinkle. Mm-hmm. I was thinking, kid chucked Elmo like into a bathtub, like baptismal, and so which would answer. Now this answers my question: is it like a sprinkle, or is it the full
I
dunk?
think that one's a sprinkle, right, on the font.
I guess so, unless you put your face down into the font.
Yeah, well, that's what the birds do. I think that's a different thing. There were several that came in like this. So shouts out to everybody that sent one in like this. Let's just get into it. This is from Sister Kylie. When my now 7-year-old was a baby, she suffered from GERD so badly that we carried towels with us instead of burp cloths.
What's GERD?
Gastro.
Stomach stuff.
Stomach
All right.
stuff. Gastro. I forget
Something
what
disorder.
I think it's a repulsion disorder. It's something like that. At the end of our baby dedication, the pastor asked people to surround us to pray.
Oh God.
You guessed it.
Oh, no.
My daughter decided this was the perfect time for one of her mega spit ups. She soaked herself, me, and several church members who had gathered around us to lay hands.
Oh my gosh.
What I love about the imagery of that is like, how committed are you to praying over this family, Like, are you locked in? That's what, if we're doing this, and this is part of this is the church family saying like, we're going to help you raise this kid, then you better not lose contact
Or if
when you're being vomited on.
right, or like it may increase the intensity of the prayers too, if you sort of are picturing Emily Rose. and this like demon child spinning her head around, puking all like. Then you're like, do I get out of here? Do I run or no? I'm in it. My hands are on this thing. I gotta pray for this baby.
There's several of these that make you wonder a little bit, like what's going on in the baby's head, because they're making sense of the world around them every day, and now they've got all these people around them, and they're like, oh, the people are here for a show, and that's what they're gonna get.
Let's do that trick I learned.
My parents love this one.
Bless. I think after ours, because she had this big old like long dress or whatever that was handed down from generations. Our daughter just pooped through it, like went up the diaper and like on the back of this thing, and we had to get it dry cleaned. It was pretty nasty.
Oh.
Luckily, she waited till we got home to do that.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah. It's fine.
That is tough. So did you try to wash it, or it was the generational like?
Oh yeah, that was one of those where like
thing?
you gotta like get the majority of the poop off. You can't take it the dry cleaners like soaked, right? That's wrong. But then you don't want to manhandle it too much,
right,
and ruin this heirloom. So.
And probably every baby did that in that same...
Every baby did it.
It's like, that's part of the family tradition. You got to leave your... Like, how comedians sign backstage. It's sort of the same deal.
Yeah, your grandma took a dump in this, too. You can see just the little remains of the stain.
It was mostly wood shavings. That's what they were eating back then. This one comes from Sister Katia. This is one of my favorites. Here's my story. My godson was baptized a little later at 18 months. Maybe this is our first takeaway of the episode, is like, get them in there when they're teeny tiny, barely talking, barely doing much. So he's baptized at 18 months. He was already quite chatty at the portion when the godparents are supposed to answer the priest about if he'd renounced Satan. Again, and this is probably maybe not familiar to your tradition, but here is the question that gets asked in some of these traditions.
We're asking the baby if the baby has renounced Satan?
I believe they ask the parents.
Okay.
I think. But it's got to be the parents. But the question is, do you reject Satan in all his works? And that's, again, this is just, I'm not asking you to feel any type of way. That's just in part, some ceremonies, that's what they ask the family. So that, or a different wording of that essentially same question, is asked to the godparents, at which point the godson yells loudly, no. I had to look away because it was pretty funny. And then he kept squirming and screaming, no, I don't want to. And when he got the oil and water placed on him, we all had a nice lunch afterwards, and we got to laugh about it. My other godson was 3 months old at his baptism, and it went much smoother.
Yeah, they learned their lesson.
Pretty hilarious, though.
The 18-month-old is like, bring me Satan. That's who I want on my team.
Do you go? I mean, this story leads me to think they pushed through it. But at some point, I wonder if you're like, hey, maybe we have a conversation off stage, because I think he might be turning this down.
Yeah, I think it's like the wedding license and certificate and stuff. Like, you do the ceremony, you keep going on, and then you don't sign it until later.
Yeah, offline conversation.
Let's talk. I know we did the ceremony, but you can't. You have to renounce Satan.
You do. I do. If we're gonna do this, I need you to renounce Satan.
You got to make a choice. That's the one.
At 18 months, everyone's got to make a choice. My son saw baptism for the first time and was asking about it, and I was like, oh man, it's one of those moments where you kind of like, all right,
I gotta do this right.
Backpack and briefcase and
the armor of God with the
it's outward, reflection and the inward decision. I'm giving him the whole night. He was like, he just kind of like assessed it and was like, I never want to do that. I never want to do that. And I was like, be cool. Okay. We're beginning a conversation. And it's like, no, it turns out I don't want someone to just grab me and slam me under the water.
Yeah.
He was like 6 years old at the time. I was like, yeah, I get that.
We can just spray you with those.
I can't.
It's cool.
He's like, I just don't want to be forced. Do they always let you up? I'm like, yeah. As far as I've seen.
Did you renounce Satan?
Some of this is up to you.
You might have to squeeze a little Satan out of your left.
All right, let's get through some more of these. Don't do that. Sister Natalie, my son cried literally the entire time. He was teething and a little feverish. The lights were really bright and the music was loud. And this is so, like, you're up on a stage in front of all these people. This is not a normal environment.
And this is entertainment business here, folks. Like, they always say, like, no pets, no kids. Like, that's not who you want to work with. But
You have to
in the church entertainment business. You do have to work with the kids.
You gotta
in this
work
scenario.
with the kids.
Just in the dedications. Yeah.
On the video recording, you can hear him screaming, even the whole prayer. And in the family photo after, he's crying too. Here's what I loved about this story. This person, Natalie, says her dad is the pastor of the church. And so you can imagine this is his grandbaby. Anyway, he's crying, everything. He's screaming, all that stuff. The baby only stopped screaming when my dad, the pastor, took his hat off. So it turns out it wasn't the teething, it wasn't the fear, it was the dad wearing the hat that made the kid scream the whole time. Have you ever seen this when a baby doesn't like recognize somebody in a hat?
Yeah, well, I'm more concerned that this pastor is wearing a hat on stage.
Oh, it's a cool.
It's not cool. We're not cool. This is a grandpop here. Don't be cool as a grandpop.
I have to say, hats on stage, it always throws me off.
Yeah.
Because you're usually lit from above.
Podcasts are different. We've got
we're
lighting straight in front of us behind the camera.
We're also very bald. And the
That
lighting
glare
is harsher.
is rough.
Maybe this guy was too. But if I'm on stage, I can't wear a hat. It's because it upsets the babies.
It's because of the babies.
I have had this exact thing happen where I have it's that baby phase where they know you and then they see you in a hat or a hat that's different than the last time they saw you, and you might as well, you're a stranger danger all of a sudden.
Yeah. I still can't get over, like, this is a kind of a formal setting.
Yeah.
Natalie, right? Natalie, can we
this is
ask
Sister
why?
Natalie, yeah.
Do you know why your dad is wearing a hat to dedicate your baby? This is a formal thing. I would never be allowed to wear a hat during any formal
Maybe
thing.
he wore a dress hat. Maybe it was a top hat. Mm-hmm. Maybe it was Abraham Lincoln.
Was it a dress hat, Natalie? Was it a dress hat? Was it a cowboy hat? Were you in Texas? Because if that's the case,
Oh, yeah.
if that's the case, then the
Yeah.
kid's probably already used to you wearing a cowboy hat because
It's
that's
more
what you
dressy
do.
to wear a cowboy hat.
And the bolo, you gotta have the bolo.
Have a bolo. Okay, this next story I have to kind of summarize. But it was really good, and I'm going to give you this is from Brother Brian. I'm going to give you the bones of the story because he went into some detail, and I can answer any follow-up questions you might have from the details he provided.
Okay, all right.
Essentially what happens is Brian's whole family shows up, and his I should have this. It was his sister's second kid had just turned 2 months old. So
Okay.
his niece or nephew, his sister's second kid just. So the whole family's here. Presumably, there's some sort of celebration still ongoing about this new baby, and everybody's around to help. They all go to their church together. His family's been going to this church for a while. The pastor of the church had a grandbaby born almost at the same time.
That he wore a hat to that baby's service.
No mention of that.
Okay.
So the pastor during the service is fired up about the new grandbaby, and he starts shouting out his new grandbaby. Per Brian's telling, kind of midstream, this is what he said. He had an immediate realization that my family, and my father and our family also had a new grandbaby who was present for the first time. And it hit him in real time, I guess I got to shout them both out. So he calls the other family up on stage. So he's off the cuff here, which
Bad idea.
pastors, just be careful. Just off the cuff is harder than it looks. So he's free flowing. He brings them up. He mentions my sister. He calls both couples up with to the new children. He introduces them, and with the family that he knew, it was like his family. It was great. In the real time, he knew this guy's dad. He didn't know any of the kids' names. And he's obviously fumbling. This says, in the moment, he could not remember any of my siblings' names. And he's trying to be even with these two families that were just born. He picks up the sister's kid to kind of present to the congregation as he had done with his new grandbaby. Only difference is that kid doesn't know him at all. So the child, who now realized they were being held by a strange man, proceeded to immediately begin screaming. And he's like, handle the baby. He tried to manage the situation, but quickly realized he was out of his depth. He handed the kid back to my sister and tried to forget the whole thing ever happened. So I've been in rooms where you do the baby daddy and you're like, I love all these families are great. And here's my grandbaby. And it's to some extent, I guess I gotta say, just do it. It's your grandkid. We get it. Everybody up there is a little second fiddle that day. Let's not pretend it's not what it is. What are you You're not going to be like cold. You're the grandpa or the grandma, whoever's doing this. Just give the extra care to the one that's in your family. We get it.
I know.
I want to give you that pass.
I would say maybe do that in private, though. Maybe not like totally fawning, like going above and beyond on stage in front of people, because like you're full of emotion. You're all excited. And then this exact same thing happens. You fumble over your words. You forget people's names. You start making decisions you never should have made because you're caught up in this moment.
You're caught.
And pastors are notoriously bad at being caught up in the moment and going off script and then sounding kind of dumb.
Yeah. You want to plan out, kind of, especially moments that involve babies, like we talked about earlier. Like parents, they want a little prep. They want to know, should I bring Elmo? Because is this going to be a thing where I need to have like my little go-to to make the baby kind of settle down? Don't try to do it in the moment with a baby. It's not going to end well. It's not just the babies though.
Or you like bring up a couple and you're like, come on, just come up. And the guy's like, no, I don't want. Yeah, come up. And then you're talking about the baby. And then eventually the guy's like, yeah, that's my sister. That's not my kid.
The old kiss cam situation.
Yeah, no, I don't want this.
That was uncle.
But because Pastor got super all excited.
I think there's one more baby out there to be dedicated. Let's wait until I see that hand from that baby. Okay, everybody? Is there a baby in the back? This one was a great story too. And another one I kind of gotta summarize a little bit. This is from, I don't know, the name kind of gives away a little bit of the story. Here's the story.
Sorry. I'm allergic to these stories.
Parents could not decide on a middle name. So they decided that dad would choose it during the baby blessing.
What?
No decision on a middle name until the baby. He chose the name Mackenzie in real time. This is presumably at least weeks, maybe months go by before you do something like this. So he didn't pick a middle name and he chose Mackenzie at the time. Person wrote it. And then she goes into some detail on all of this about how like it got on a birth certificate. And this ends up being a whole kerfuffle for her to get a passport. Yeah. Because her like, there was like no middle name, then one gets added, and they weren't sure if it was officially added. So anyway, it comes down to like my mom had to call a lady in an office. She had to call the lady that works with birth certificates in Hawaii. The lady had to go down to like this paper storage like situation and dig through stuff. And anyway, all in all, it was a revelation. She found the original document. It had been changed. They put Mackenzie as the middle name, and like it's all came down to like a spur of the moment decision from dad. But then she ends with this. This made me laugh. And on top of all that, by the way, I'm a woman and my name is Aiden.
Okay.
She threw this in at the end, and I just thought, as an adult, you have some legit gripes with your parents because you are helpless in your own naming situation, and it's like. People do the names don't have rock solid genders, so you can do a girl whose name is Charlie and things like that, and that can be fine. But if you start stacking them, and you're like, your girl, I named you Aiden. Also, I maybe gave you a middle name, maybe I didn't. I don't know. Go fill out some paperwork and see how it goes. I think you have a legit like phone call to make and be like, guys, come on.
Yeah, not just the name itself, but the whole chaotic practice there.
We couldn't have done Jessica Marie. I would have been in Europe by now. It would have been so straight up if you guys had just gone vanilla.
Sorry to all the Jessica Maries out there. And we know there's at least 100,000
There's so many Jessica Maries. And your paperwork it's probably autofilling your name.
Yeah.
Anthony Russo. I was lucky enough to go to Italy. And I was like, this would be cool. Maybe I'll run into somebody with my name. And we were on a tour, and the guy was like, you're going to run into everyone with your name. You are the most common name.
Antonio Russo.
And I was like, oh, really? I was like, and then, so, of course, first place we go, it's like, Anthony Russo shoe shop. And I'm like, oh, babe, take a picture with me, whatever. And there was like, Anthony Russo convenience store. And I was like, oh, take a picture.
Turns out that's their John Doe.
It is their, like, it's their like
unidentified body. Yep.
Whatever name we got to throw on something, we're gonna put Anthony Russo and just don't even. They're not even. It's more of an idea than it is a human at this point. It's just, every man is Anthony Russo. And here I thought I was special.
No, No, you're special to us, Aunt.
Me and Jessica Marie get it. Okay.
I like the coming up with a name on a stage in front of people
In real time.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine that. Actually, okay, not poking holes in the theory here, but like, did he know beforehand that he was going to have to come up with a name on stage?
Well, and it doesn't have detail in here, but some traditions, like I believe it's Catholic, like you get a name through that process.
Sure.
And so I don't know if this is somehow connected to that. And I don't know how much that reflects into like paperwork. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like we give you a name and it's like, my father-in-law has like 8 middle names. We joke about it all the time.
But he's only got 1 on the paperwork.
But I think, I'm going to ask him now. I don't know. But yeah, you named like day of though, right? You didn't commit to a name. No, that's before?
We didn't commit to a name. We actually named both of our girls like the day after they were born.
Yeah.
So we didn't know. But you couldn't have put me on the spot. I would have come up with something real dumb.
Well, and that's what the guy had to have be between a couple. I'm sure it wasn't like.
I hope.
Although knowing guys, I hate to say, he probably was like, I got everybody dressed. What else do you want?
I wanted you to come up with a name. Also, the relative importance of a middle name. What are
we doing with middle names?
We're not doing anything with middle names. We're not even putting them on towels anymore.
The only thing I think you can do with a middle name is if you're trying to do a family like heirloom name, you reserve the right to hide it there, right? Mm-hmm. Like if
it's buried, it's the metadata that is in the person.
Yes.
It's not an attribute we want to show off, but we're going to put it in in the coding.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You got a gross name like Ulysses or something that was like your lovely grandpa everybody loved. You can be like,
but you get the right middle name, your search engine will be optimized. Everybody looking you up if they get the right middle name. Yeah. Oh, that's the exact one.
Right. That's why I have first name,
Jermichael
Florida super athlete, super rich and famous, really happy and fulfilled life, Russo.
Meta world peace.
Because I want that.
Russo.
That way it's like, oh, well, they must have those things because they're in there. Yeah, I think if you've got a Wilbur or an Orville that you're trying to like, these were good folks and we want to remember them. I don't want to name my kid Orville. So let's invent middle name. I bet there's probably something to that. That's like, I didn't want to name my kid that. So in the moment, like middle name got invented and they're like, no. There's some in-law was like, you didn't name them Washessica? And they're like, no, we did. We did the middle name.
She'll probably be called by her middle name. We just want to give her the option later.
This might be Sarah. But Washessica, Sarah Washessica is the full name. Yeah. That's where middle names came in. It's not just kids involved in baby dedications.
Because we have parent dedications, evidently.
Those are out there. This one came in from an anonymous friend of the show. There was one particular woman who volunteered at the baptisms, and every single time she wore the same dark green dress to the baptisms. One time, she changed it up, and we get there, and she is wearing dressy brown pants with a white blouse. She's doing her baptism thing. It's all going on. She leans over to clean the baptismal font. Her pants split.
Oh.
The tear was, of course, right across her butt.
Yeah.
So she's holding a program for the morning, and she kept holding the program for the baptism behind her to cover the tear, which is like, pause, tap her out. Like, there's no one in the church that can do what she's doing? Can somebody go, hey, I can do this. I can clean the baptismal font, I think, and you don't have to do it in split pants in front of everyone. After it was over, she joked that it made her arms sore to keep her arms back there for that long. And by the next baptism, a month later, she's back to the dark green dress, and she's never worn anything but the dark green dress.
Yeah, she'll be buried in that dress. That just makes sense.
The pants.
That's so
You're
great.
in a dark green dress. Someone's got to get her out of there. You can't be asking a woman with split pants to be operating
To stay on stage.
in front of the church.
And you might think like, oh, but if she just turns her back, like her she's facing the audience. Well, there's probably like a choir loft behind her.
And I'm also
those
thinking,
people.
like, this particular job, which as specified is to clean the baptismal font. So you're probably having to get to the front of the baptismal font. So you're going to have to look at everybody, sort of reach and try to hope you're getting the spot you're trying to get to. Get her out of there, church family. What is a church family for, if not to remove you when your pants are split? I have a real beef with this congregation, to be honest with you. Dude, my last one that I have to share is a whopper. And it is not directly tied to baby dedications.
Okay.
But I think there was real dedication involved in the story. Is it okay if I end with this one?
Otherwise we already ended.
I said, is it okay if I end with this one?
Yay.
I know. I'm so needy for
I
affirmation,
know.
but I'm stuck with it.
I know.
This comes from Sister Lizzie. And here we go.
Sizzy Lizzy.
Sizzy Lizzie. My grandpa was the pastor of our small church in the Ozarks, like where the show Ozark was filmed. But this was my actual town. It was my 8th birthday. So that works. Totally fair that it's in this episode. It was my 8th birthday, and my family and I were setting up the party at our church. Our cleaning lady that week was missing. But as it was a volunteer position, we didn't think much of the situation, as volunteers come and go. She later clarified at this part of the story that this day that they're setting up, the cleaning lady is supposed to be there, and the church is not clean, and they're like, oh, we don't know where she is. My dad and I went down to the already spooky church basement to retrieve the bounce house for the party. Before we flipped on the lights, we heard rustling in a large box that usually only contained toys for the kids' church. My dad told me to stay back by the door. As he began to inch closer, a clown popped up out of the box. A fully grown human dressed in a clown costume. It came to be revealed that this was the missing cleaning lady. My dad approached her and asked what the heck she was doing. She explained that she was cleaning and needed a nap.
No.
Cleaning and needed a nap. All my dad could say was, but Pam, why the wig? Pam was obviously on what many are on here in the good old Ozarks. It was the most terrifying thing ever. I'm still scared to go in the church basement alone.
Yeah.
She just wanted to clarify again that Pam was fully dressed in a clown costume, including wig. There were lots of costumes in our church basement that we would use for plays and different church gathering activities.
Yeah, I would be terrified to go into any basement to encounter meth clown as well.
Can you imagine?
Oh boy, did it say makeup too?
Full makeup, costume, wig. Like, I would cancel my own birthday.
No. Yeah. Oh my gosh. No, falling asleep inside of a box. So many questions. Why were you in the box? It's not a proper place to take a nap. The church has pews.
Typically.
There are places to go in a church that aren't coffin-like, where you're scrambling out of it in a clown costume. What in the world?
You go down there to get the bounce house. And I just, in my head, this is an 8-year-old. I have an 8-year-old in my house right now. And I know, and she says I was already scared of the basement. So one of the places my mind went to is like, for me as a dad, you're going like, hey, we're going to go down there together. There's nothing to be scared of down there. Sometimes we got to tell our brain that, like, I know you're scared of the unknown, but we got to be brave in that moment. And we have to kind of look past that, and we got to be courageous. You can't be courageous unless you feel fear. So let's go down there. And then a giant, full-grown meth clown pops out.
Was the kid down there as the 8-year-old?
That's what she says.
Okay, I couldn't remember if just the dad discovered.
My dad and I went down.
Oof. You don't. How do you recover from that?
You never recover. Like,
oh boy, I'm so sorry. That's awful.
I love this new segment so much, and every time we've gotten a story that I've been like, that's wild. That's a wild thing to have happened. And then whenever I'm at the church, like my knowledge that the basement's down there and full of terrible things.
No, we seal that thing up.
Honestly, yes, you seal the basement.
Yeah, if you can just like set the basement on fire and keep the rest of the church, fine.
Check the boxes first, though.
Possible. Well, how much did we lose if we lose one meth clown?
This story also reminded me of Modern Family when Phil's like, I'm scared of clowns. My mom thinks it's because I found a dead clown in the woods behind our house. I don't know if that's it. Like, this woman's afraid of clowns. And I have often said, I'm probably on record in this podcast saying, like, the clown thing is such a tough break. Like, we're performers, we're comedy performers. There's magicians, there's people that just try to bring joy to people and make people laugh. If we objectively look at clowns, they're making balloon animals, they're squirting water out of little flower, they're piling into a car. They didn't do any. There's not a string, to my knowledge, of clown murders that we were like, well, naturally now we're afraid of the clowns.
Wow.
We just decided that all clowns were like...
Well, at some point, It was created, the movie, and, you know, but I don't know that there was... I think what you're saying is there wasn't like a string of clown murderers before then. Right. So, yeah, I totally get it.
It's one of the rare things, and I could be wrong on this. I'm happy to be corrected. If you know something about this, let me know. But, like, when you go, like, Jaws, augmented... sharks do be getting people in the ocean. Like, they're not scary creatures, monsters. But you took like a little true thing and you made it big. As far as I know, clowns just were clowning.
Right.
And then one day they showed up to work and everybody was running away terrified from them. Right. And they were like, is it, my shoes are too big? What have I done? What happened here? How did you turn a whole profession that was meant to paint faces and throw pies and we're all murderers?
Yeah.
But then this person has every right to be afraid of clowns.
For sure.
Really should be afraid of clowns.
Yeah, I feel like it's not dissimilar to like the general feeling I get. Like yeah, clowns are kind of scary for a lot of people just irrationally.
Yeah.
How some people might feel like, oh, talking to a magician, they're weird and they don't have any friends and can't carry on a real conversation. That has probably been more earned than I think the clown thing.
I think maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit.
No offense, of course.
They can't carry on a conversation. I think it's that they can take the collaborative, good energy in a room and they can make it disappear. That's the way I like to frame it.
Well said.
It's a choice.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's just going to be stuck to be a fully grown person in complete clown getup and look at somebody and go, I got tired. Sorry.
And like,
I got tired and I had to take a nap. And that's as far as my explanation is going to go.
And you know, the makeup that was done was not in the right state of mind either.
Right.
So when
real Joker
she does start painting this stuff all around while she's looking in the mirror, it's probably not very even. Then she sleeps on it, drools on it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I can only imagine.
She wakes up and says, you want to know how I got these scars? Happy birthday.
It was for her birthday.
You know?
Themed.
Another thing I can all but guarantee the dad said was like, she is already done up in the makeup. We could cancel the one we ordered. No, you're right. That would be horrifying.
But you do need to clean up afterward. That's what we're probably here for.
Just run a quick vacuum. We'll call it even. Call it a day. Listen, churches be needing volunteers. And I know this. If a church needs a cleaning volunteer, nobody's going to be around when it's happening. Background checks get loosey-goosey a little bit. You know what I mean?
And if you're wondering, if you're listening to the story, if you're like sort of new to like weird 90s, maybe early 2000s church culture, which I assume was around that time. If you're not used to that, then you might think like, come on, this can't be real. There's no way there's a clown costume. I promise you there's a clown costume.
Yeah.
I promise you there's a bear costume. There's a costume that a grown man can fit into that is like in the shape of a book.
Yeah.
That is the Bible that he's sharing the gospel with people. I promise you there's a camel head somewhere from some play performance with kids that like kids are wearing a camel head.
I like that the camels were doing Thriller a little bit.
It's the only dance I know.
What is a bummer is that costume was down there because the VBS theme was at the circus, and they had to pivot completely.
Never
After
again.
Rumors of this got out.
Never again.
They were like, "Yeah, we're gonna do the jungle again because the old Ozark meth clown that lives in the hills is a real folktale that got away from us." Well, you know what though? What we can say here is happy belated, Lizzie. Happy birthday. I hope you had a great rest of your day. Got a bounce house out of it, it sounded like. So that's fun. Mm-hmm. That was always a big deal, right? All right, that's what I got. Those were our baby dedication / birthday stories.
That was good. Thank you, everyone, for your weird stories.
Pretty great.
I love it.
Pretty great. A lot of lessons to be learned. Don't do impromptu stage stuff with babies.
Yeah.
Maybe get a little more info on your volunteers that are cleaning.
Stay on script. Background check.
Come up with names beforehand. Have that ironed out. You don't want to be doing that on the fly. These are things that we can learn from these experiences. I don't have a theme for next one. I have a couple ideas, but I want to talk to you before we put them out to everybody. But lots of you have sent church stories in unprompted, and let me tell you, please continue. Just if you've got a funny church story about whatever, send it in at The Bible Is Funny. You can also email it, thebibleisfunny@gmail.com. Got a couple questions about our non-social media friends out there. You can email it in to thebibleisfunny@gmail.com. I love hearing your stories. I just genuinely giggle so much. They were like 15 other stories of babies pooping during dedications, and I personally loved all of them. I didn't want to tell all of them on here just because it was roughly the same every time, but still good. And that's it. That's all I got. You got anything else for people before we send off?
No, thank you for this.
Thanks.
Because one more episode where I dive into church stories is one less episode where I have to watch a bad Christian movie. So
That's true.
Thanks, y'all.
Great premise for a Christian movie, though, is the Ozark meth clown in the basement of the church. So, Kendrick Brothers, call us. Set something up. All right, love you. We'll be back with another episode real soon. We'll talk to you then. Okay, bye.
Love you, bye.